Yeah, we survived that way. There was a time when we got used to those, arguments,
Good.
I think it was just like that too. So in arguments, and then some days fights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You were young, yeah.
Yes, very young when they started having issues.
Yes.
I think I was 5. When they started having issues. So she has done to me, it was like, just grabbing my ear like this.
Oh, she pull your ears like you don't listen.
Yeah, you don't listen.
Okay.
Once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she never.
You are listening to AFRODIASPO Media. Welcome to AFRODIASPO Media, and my name is Major. As I'm speaking to you today, I'm gonna have a wonderful man with me tonight, and it's gonna be so great. Tonight is like a continuity of what we did last time. Last time we had Paul Chilolo, and who is a wonderful brother, by the way. And tonight we're gonna have Jeremiah Chilolo, who is the younger brother of Paul, and we're gonna be talking about their really emotional story. And Jeremy is gonna tell us how he lived it, because everybody had to live this story from their own angle or perspective. So we're gonna have Jeremy tonight, and I'm pretty much sure you're going to enjoy it. But before we go there, please remember to subscribe and share this so that everybody can get to watch this, because this is going to relate to so many people's story and lives. And I believe that if you can share this is going to help a lot of people to be edified and be transformed, because that's the purpose of this podcast. So thank you so much. Without taking a lot of time, I'm going to bring Jeremy in. Jeremy, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, thank you. And yourself?
Are you ready for tonight?
Yes, I am ready, and thank you for having me here at AFRODIASPO.
Good. Before we begin, can you confirm that you are Paul's brother?
Oh, yes.
Are you guys cousins, or are you?
No, we are really blood brother. Like, he's my biological brother. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. Last time we had Paul here.
Yep.
And there are so many things that he spoke about. That his story was really touchy, and it's really emotional. And I couldn't believe that we should be going through this at this time in in the history. So before we move forward, I would like you to confess, like what Paul did last time.
Yeah.
Confess that whatever you're gonna be telling us is coming from the truth and from the life that you lived. Because we have to believe that what you are telling us is really the truth, so that nobody comes tomorrow and say, no, he lied here. Can you really promise us that it's going to be the truth?
Yes, everything I will say here will be the truth, like from things I've been through and I have experienced in my life.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's begin here now. Just like Paul.
Yep.
Did you live in Kinshasa too? Like, are you coming from Congo?
Yes, I am. I am Congolese, born in Kinshasa.
Okay, father and mother Congolese and...
Both, yes, father and mother Congolese. And I was born in Kinshasa. Yeah, I lived in Bujimai too. Yeah. I lived in Kinshasa as well. So I've been living between those two cities, like province, if I can say.
The two provinces. I haven't got a chance to go to Mbujimai, and I wish one day I can go to that rich... I heard there's a lot of wealth and minerals and everything in Bujimai.
Yes.
It's an amazing place. I would like to go there one day, because for those who don't know, the current president of the DRC is coming from Bujimai. So I'm pretty much sure that's a very good place to be right now, right?
Oh yes, it's a really good place.
I hope he's building that town, right?
Oh yes, he's building for sure. Yeah, he's been doing like so many good things now for like his hometown.
That's his hometown, right?
That's his hometown.
Okay, yes. I hope the people who lives in Bujimai are really feeling that the change that's coming with the new president, right?
Oh yes, we're feeling it for sure.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jeremy, tell us about yourself. How was it like in Kinshasa, life in Kinshasa, and tell us about your family a bit.
Yes. First of all, I was born in Kinshasa. Yes, but originally my family, my mom and my dad, are both from Bujimai.
Good.
So like they were there when they got married.
Or they got married in Bujimai?
Yes, that's where they are from, where their families lived. So like my older brother Frank was born in Bujimai.
Yes.
And Paul the same. And then I think it was when my dad got another job. He got sent to Mweneditu. Mweneditu is another city still in Kasai Oriental. Kasai Oriental is the province where Mbujimai is, like the second city of the province.
Okay.
Then when we were there, my mom got pregnant and Frank got sick. I think Frank got sick, and then they had to go to Kinshasa for some treatments for Frank. Then at that time, when my mom was pregnant of me, then she moved to Kinshasa for Frank treatments. That's when I was born.
Oh, okay. So
that's the time I was born.
If we can remember, we can remind the audience, Frank is your bigger brother.
Yeah, Frank is my biggest brother. Yeah, the older.
Frank, we really need you to come down here and explain to us about this thing, because the purpose of this is to help other people who are going through the same thing, to know how you came to win this battle, because this is really a battle.
Oh, yeah.
And then how did you overcome it, and how did you come to Canada, and how are you doing things that you're doing right now like if nothing happened. That's the purpose of this. So if we can get you down here as quick as possible, that's going to be so good. Okay, so continue now.
Yeah, and then that's when I was born there in Kinshasa.
Good.
Then I think, Frank had his treatment. I don't know what it was about. I was little, I was a baby, right? I just heard the story, part of it. And then my family moved back to Mweneditu, because my dad and Paul, were still in Bujimai. So, like in Mweneditu actually, then they moved back to Mweneditu, my mom and I. And then I think 2 years later, my dad got another position in Kinshasa. So he got sent to Kinshasa, but still the same company. He was working for Bralima. I don't know if you know Bralima.
It's the company that makes, they sell beers and
they sell
everything.
beers. Yeah.
I
So
know Bralima, yes.
He had a really good position there at the time. So and then when he got sent there, we started living in Kinshasa. Then also, my mom gave birth to my youngest brother, the younger Mardoshe. So the two of us were born in Kinshasa.
And Paul was born in Kinshasa too? Or
no, Paul and Frank were born in Bujimai. Me and Mardoshe were born in Kinshasa.
Oh, you were born in Kinshasa. Okay, yes. So this is where the entire story started from, right?
Yes, in Kinshasa, actually.
Yes. As Paul explained this last time, it was really emotional, and then I couldn't even take this, I promise you.
Yeah.
And I hope you're going to make it a bit easier for me, right?
Yep.
Imagine I'm alone here, so you're going to make it easier for me. And when your dad and your mom, what happened?
Actually, to be honest, I was very little.
You were young, yeah.
Yes, very young when they started having issues.
Yes.
I think I was 5. I was 5 when they started having issues. So I was blind. I didn't know nothing,
Yes.
Just sometimes I will see arguments, they'll be arguing, but they didn't really know what was going on,
Yeah.
But themselves, they knew what was going on. And
of course,
I was very young. So all I know so far is they had issues,
Yeah.
and arguments, stuff like that. Because, when we moved to Kinshasa, that's where, I started going to school. I lived there till I was I think 8. Then during those years, at a certain time when I reached 5, they started having issues, arguments. And I didn't really know what it was about,
Wow.
Yeah. But so far I just knew one day they were arguing in the house.
Yes.
And then some of the family members had to come, There
was meetings in the house.
Meetings. I remember that. Meetings with the pastors, stuff like that. But myself, I didn't know what was going on. Then, some days mom will leave the house to go to her brother. And then when they fix things, she comes back, So far, that was what was going on before the separation and other things.
If you can remember, I don't know if you can remember that because you are still young, but do you know if they were sharing the same faith, religion, Were they going to same church, or everybody had their own, belief? Because sometimes these things can be so complicated, Yeah.
Yeah, actually, they were sharing the same faith.
Like going to same church.
Same church. Like I remember growing up, we were all going to the same church. You know, both my parents showed us, God, Jesus, the way of God, we used to pray every morning before going to school, every evening before going to bed, like the whole family. And then even my dad was training us, every day we used to rotate. I was still little, but this day I will be leading the prayer for the whole family. The following day, my other brother leading. So they were all Christians, everything was like good. Yeah, they were sharing the same faith for sure.
Wow. Yeah. To you who's watching this, I have a question for you. What really can happen that two people who were loving each other, like people who promised to live together, people who got married, can really get to a point that they decide to fall apart and separate, and even leave the children, like 4 children, 4 boys, you leave them and you just like everything is just falling apart. What really can happen? Is this a mystery? Is it spiritual? Is it physical? Or what's really going on? I would like you to maybe to comment and leave us answers if you can, if you've been through this thing, or maybe you've seen this happening, because people are born in families where things like this happen. So as we move on, Jeremy.
Yes.
Did you have a chance to go to school, like in Kinshasa?
Oh, yes, I did, for sure. Like, I went to school from kindergarten to grade 3 in Kinshasa. Yes, I've never missed any year in school.
And that's after mommy has left?
Even before, I started going to school before
when she was still there?
She was still there. Like, when I was 5, I think I started school with, a year early.
Okay.
So I went to kindergarten when I was like 4, and then by 5 I was in grade 1.
Wow.
So yeah, I was going to school.
Okay, you were going to school. And then do you remember when mom left? Like, how was it in the house? Like,
yeah, actually,
I'm sure that day turned into night, right?
Yes.
When you realize that mom is not home, and
Yeah, but I think for me, it was not like, boom, she left like right away, you know?
Yeah.
There was a time when we got used to those, arguments,
Good. Yeah.
It kept happening over and over, she will leave and then come back.
Yes.
And then I think just like that, just like those other days,
Good.
she also moved. And it was not like, moving forever, because she had her brother in the same city in Kinshasa, like my uncle.
Yeah.
So it always used to be like, she will go there, and then my uncle will call my dad, they will talk and then fix the situation. Then my mom will come back. And then I think it was just like that too. So in arguments, and then some days fights, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
There was sometimes like a physical, like a...
Yes, of course. Yeah. And then, she left just like that. And then, that's what happened. And it came that maybe they couldn't figure it out right away.
Yeah.
They were like, talking, meetings after meetings. And then for that period of time, she couldn't like come back home right away.
She couldn't take it anymore. It just becomes so like hard.
Yeah.
Usually when things like this happen, it's usually the dad that leaves. It's usually like, men usually leave the kids with the woman. You guys had a different story, and this is what makes it so special, because you were now to be raised by your dad.
Kind of
like at that part, right?
Kind of. Yeah.
You were forced to live with your dad at that moment.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us. I know men are not good at living with children. That's one thing. It's really hard to stay with children and taking care of them. The care that a mom can give cannot compare to to what dad is going to give, right? So I want to know, how easy was it to live with dad?
Yeah.
Did he cook for you, take care of you, like bathing you and everything like that? Did you recall those things, or how did it happen?
It was hard. I remember for those couple months first, when my mom moved, and then we stayed with our dad. Those few months, it was like really, really hard because it came that my dad lost his job, and I don't know if he found a new job yet, but he was like just going out, to find something for us to eat.
Yeah.
He will leave from the morning to the evening. We were all of us very little. We stay home, no food.
No one is there.
No one is there, Yeah. But also I want to clear something. It was not like, my mom like left us for,
She did not abandon you.
Yeah, she did not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like,
that's really clear.
Yeah, she did not abandon us.
Yeah.
So it was just the issue between them. And then, something happened. Then she had to go live with her brother for a while.
Yeah.
And then during that period of time, it just came out that she couldn't come back right away. So, yes, but she did not abandon us intentionally. Yes.
The thing that I love about you guys is regardless of what happened, you don't really blame your mother.
Oh, yes.
And I think that's what makes you stronger, because sometimes we pass to judge, but at least you put yourself into your mother's shoes and you do understand that she did not abandon you. Because somebody would say, no, she left, there's no way she can explain, right? But you don't really get to that point. And I think that's what makes you guys special.
Yeah.
Because even as Paul was here, you can feel like this is really a guy who loves his mom, like really loves his mom. Yeah. And we can move on from there. You said dad will go to look for something like to eat, and then he'll come back home. At that time, as you were little like this, nobody at home, how did you survive that and not becoming like street boys?
Yeah. Actually, I remember, first of all, growing up, all of us, we were like really well educated, like our family, from like, my dad, my mom, and us.
Yeah.
Us in Congo, there is always those family where they start with French, home, Okay. So we were like those kind of family, like very well educated. My dad was not rich, but he was okay, we are like different from street kids or other kids, there was a little bit of difference, we were like educated, like, you can't eat something from a stranger, those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then at that time, when my dad started like, going out to look for, something and then
for you guys to survive,
it came out that, at that time we were living in a compound with like almost 15 neighbors.
Oh, wow.
Yes, almost 15 neighbors. And then
God.
there was this neighbor, I think close to our house. Yeah. They used to see that. Sometimes she will come with food, she will give us.
Oh, my God.
But also...
Clarify first, was she a woman or a man?
She was a woman, of course. Yeah,
no
she's a couple, but a woman. She was the woman.
She's a mother, right?
Yeah.
I can tell. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And also, there was my aunt, my other aunt, like my dad's sister, who was also in Kinshasa. So she was aware of the situation. Yeah, so she was also to come back and forth. She will see, how we are doing. And then sometimes she will bring food too, if not her, but her husband. So that's how we we're surviving days after days. And then, also my dad used to bring things home too. But some days it will be like later in the evening, But still, we survived that way.
Good. Okay, so let's move on with the story now. Mom left.
Yeah.
You stay with dad. And at some point, you had to go back to Mbujimai.
Exactly.
As Paul said last time. Now, what happened for you to go back to Mbujimai? Did you go with dad? Or somebody packed you in in a container somewhere that take these kids to Mbujimai? Maybe they're not listening anymore.
Yeah.
Or what really happened? What's the scenario there? Because now you are like children who have been like abandoned,
Yep.
What happened?
Yeah, so what happened is my dad's side of the family, they were aware of the situation.
Good.
Then they thought that, it won't be good for him to be like, by himself with 4 little children.
Yes.
And then they decided that we can move back to Mbujimai, where my dad is from. And then so he can restart his life again. But at the same time, the reality was it was not over with my mom yet, between my dad and my mom.
Oh,
So they were trying to fix things. On the other hand, my dad's side of the family decided to move back to Mbujimai without my mom knowing. And then we moved, the four of us and my dad, to Mbujimai.
Oh, so he came with you down to Mbujimai?
Yes, we all moved there.
Good.
And then what I heard later is my mom came home one day.
Yes, and she did not find
She did not find us. She just found the house empty. So that's why, that's how things happen.
Oh my God, that's really
That's what she
complicated.
found. And then that's when she really started like getting sick, stomach issues. Oh, my children. Yeah. I can imagine her pain, what she went through during all those times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's not really easy. I have a little question as we move on. When dad and mom, they kind of like separate, because we cannot call it divorce at that time.
Yeah, right away it was not divorce.
It was just a separation, right?
Yeah.
At that point when they separate, do you think dad was in another relationship? Did he remarry right away? Something that maybe could make you guys feel more uncomfortable at home or anything? Like
home, there was nothing.
Okay, so he did not remarry right away.
Right away, no. Like when we were still in Kinshasa, there was nothing. And also, something I want to add, like at the time, we used to live with my aunt, like my mom's little sister, like my mom's cousin. She used to cook for us together. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then she used to come cook for us. And then we stayed with her for a while when my mom was not home. So everything was still okay. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Yeah. So there was no sign like, he has somebody also as a little boy, I could not think about that.
You can't think about that for sure. You can't think about that. This is really like a touchy and it's really complicated story.
Yeah.
And I believe even though Jeremy can speak from his heart, it's really hard for him to recall, like to tell really what really happened, because you are still 5 years,
Yeah, of course.
At 5 years, it's really hard for you to be a witness of something that is happening, right?
Oh, yeah.
But again, we're going to move on with what you lived and what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And now we went to Mbujimai. What happened to Mbujimai?
Yes. Then, when we moved to Mbujimai, the four of us went to stay with my grandma.
Yes.
We stayed with her, and then my dad found a house where he was like renting while looking for a new job. Mm-hmm. And then we stayed with my grandma for something like a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then during that same time, we found out that, it's like my dad was seeing somebody, like my stepmom.
Yeah.
She started coming at my grandma's house, to see us. And then also they got married.
They got married in Mbujimai now?
Yes, that was in Mbujimai.
Wow. And then when they got married, did you guys move in with them?
Yes. After living with my grandma for a year, we moved in with them. But they moved in first.
Yeah.
They lived together for,
a
couple months or a year. I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't really remember exactly.
Yeah.
And then, I remember just them coming to pick us up, and then we started living together for a while.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much sure this is when the story started, right?
Of course, yes.
Because so far, everything you've been saying, it's kind of clear. But now when there's a second mom, I'm pretty much sure this is where you have to see the night now.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, it was like a nightmare for sure.
Because to me, I don't think it matters how good this person can be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard to live with 4 boys. For any woman out there, it's really hard.
Yeah.
4 boys, it's really hard, especially when they can't see their mom and they know their mom is alive, but they can't see her. I think this is really so hard for them to survive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but how was it? Or how easy was it, or difficult?
At the beginning, it was
Did she beat you guys?
Actually, no.
Okay.
She wasn't beating us.
Yeah.
I don't remember any day where she was beating me myself. No.
Yeah.
The only thing she has done to me, it was just grabbing my ear like this.
Oh,
you don't
she
listen.
pull your ears you don't listen.
Yeah, you don't listen.
Okay.
Once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she never. Yeah, I will not, lie,
Yeah. You're not
say
here
something
to lie. Yeah.
she never done,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how about abusing you with words? Like sometimes
Words.
people insult like children because they didn't know now.
With words too. Yes, of course. Sometimes, but it was not like, repeatedly, It was like on and off. One day she will say this, one day. But overall, at the beginning, it was good because my grandma used to come back and forth to see how she's doing with us, She'll come to see how she's cooking for us, how she's serving us, how she's serving us food. And then it was okay at the beginning. Like for the first year, I would say everything was okay. I was also leader, things that were going on in between them in the bedroom.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
You don't know, yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, man.
So far it was okay.
It was whatever it is, right?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Whatever it is.
Wow. And did you feel like being abandoned with these situations? Did you guys feel sometimes like this is not really what we deserve?
Of course, yes. Almost all the time. Of course, there was still that feeling like myself personally, the way I grew up in general.
Yeah.
I was living with my stepmom, yes. I also lived with my grandma. But in general, I never felt that affection of, a mother, So I really lived without that affection of, from a mother, a woman. So I lived like that for my whole childhood. So yeah, I lived like that. Then sometimes I would, if my mom was here, maybe it would be different. But it was what it was.
Wow. I have a tricky question for you, Jeremiah. Let's try to be a bit honest. Now that you are grown, do you think you are not really appreciating everything she was doing? Do you think it's just because you're a kid, or some of the things like was just difficult? You need to leave them so you can understand. Do you think that's like maybe major because you don't live with her? If you live with her, you two going to feel the same way. Or maybe no, now I'm grown, I understand it was just how I was a child.
Who, like my stepmom?
Yeah, your stepmom, yeah.
Now that I'm grown,
yeah,
I understand that there was a lot of hypocrisy. Now that I'm grown and I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about some years, some days, things that were going on. I can see that there was just, inside there were things that she was saying or, that she was doing, but outside she will show another face, a different face,
Okay.
So yeah, now that I'm grown, I think there was like a lot of hypocrisy in there.
Also, the way you guys were treated inside was not the way you were treated in the face of the world. So people will believe like, it is just a united family, everything is good.
Yeah, but also it was not all the time. When I said the first year or like the first 2 years, it was okay. But after that, two things changed, even with her, And I think something happened between them, the two of them. Then things really changed like right away. Because we had to move out of the house.
They moved you guys out of the house again?
Move out of the house. And then God. I think, she knew about it. Even though it was like, my dad that said it. But
men
was okay with that.
Men will decide, but women are always the one talking, right?
About it, and then, the first 2 years, it was... But after that, everything was just not good at all. Yeah.
Wow. Then when you moved, man, I have a lot of things to ask you, and I feel like this is really relating to our own stories to as we grow up. Like everybody who's watching this, they have a story. Everybody has a story, you know that.
Yeah.
But you have to listen to somebody else's story so you can get to understand. Like, this is really tough. I don't think I could survive that. The way I know myself, I can't survive that. And when they took you out of the house, where did you go? In the street?
Not in the streets, but we went to my grandma's.
So all of you went to...
It was not all of us at first. So we moved. First of all, we moved me and Paul. We got kicked out.
Yeah.
Because we were a little bit
stubborn.
Kind of stubborn. Yes, kind of.
You were stubborn, right?
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, which is normal, right?
Yeah,
as a boy.
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, myself, I was a little bit like, shy, quiet, but followed like, this is wrong. So you should not be accepting this. And then I would follow the steps too. And then like, okay, you two guys, I feel like you're here to destroy my marriage. So get out. So, and then we went back to my grandma. We were like, oh, this is what happened. They just told us to get out. And she was like, oh, okay. So this is your place as well. You can stay here. And we were still little,
Yeah. Then did you have to go to school in Mbujimai too?
We were always going to school that whole time.
Good.
We were always going to school, even though moving back and forth. We were always going to school. While moving out, we were always going to school. So then there was a time where they were going through those hard things. Even your mark in school won't be good, right? So
I don't understand that.
That situation affected also, the way we were like conducting ourselves in school. So, but we were always going to school, year after year. Yeah.
Good, and it's crazy, man. It's really crazy. From that time to wherever we are right now, you never heard about your mom anymore.
Oh yes, actually. I remember now, when we were still living with my dad and my stepmom, what I heard after was my mom was trying to get a hold of us. But I remember even like one day, two of my aunts, like my mom's sisters, they came home to, call my mom and then so she can talk to us over the phone. But them and my stepmom, it was just,
Also, your aunt...
Yeah, my aunt.
Your mom's sisters and your stepmom, things didn't work.
Yes, I remember them coming home one day.
Oh, and
to us, and then call mom. So
they got into fire, right?
Yeah, it didn't work. I remember them like staring at each other.
Yeah,
it was like.
And did you have to talk to your mom, or it didn't work?
I didn't. It didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work. So it was also hard for her, where she was.
Yeah,
it was hard for her.
Yeah, because she couldn't live with that, man.
And then also it happened that some of her siblings, like her brothers, told her, okay, now they don't want even you to talk to your children. So just forget about it for now, because it's killing you. Your health is not good, you're thinking about them all the time. Now try a little bit to just live your life.
Yeah.
So during all those times, we never talked to her. But only when, moved out to my grandma, we had a little bit of freedom. It was different. My grandma was old.
Yeah.
We were living a little bit like, there was nobody to watch over us. There was a little of freedom. We can go out.
You do whatever you want to do.
Come back anytime.
Yeah. And
then, sometimes we steal my grandma's phone.
Yeah.
And then one day I got my mom's phone number from one of my aunts, I guess, who will call, but it didn't work. We talked like once or twice, and that was it.
Wow.
That was it, yeah.
Man, that's really crazy, man. The way I love my mom, I don't think I can live without her, man.
I know, it was, when you are very little, sometimes you can just live like that, It's been years after years, and then you keep living like that.
And this went for so long, right?
Yeah, it went for so long. So
like almost 14 years or?
Almost 14 years for sure, yeah. 14 years straight. Since we left Kinshasa, 14 years. Like that was in 2005. 2004.
Wow.
Till like 2019 or 18, yeah.
Wow. To you who love your mom, tell us in the comments, for how long can you live without seeing your mom? Can you really survive for 14 years without seeing your mom in the face or even talking to her? Because, you might live without seeing her, but physically, but you are in touch with her. To those who really feel this story, can you tell us if you can survive? And then if you can't survive, then leave a comment for Jeremy, because that's really means something, Now, what happened for you to be here in Canada now? Because
so we'll try to go back a little bit to when I was living with my grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, it was hard. It became really, really hard because now with my grandma, it's like my grandma is old.
Yes.
It doesn't work. Even to have food, it was hard.
She was not working.
She was retired already. So she was only getting her retirement money, which was little, and was every 3 months.
Wow. You guys didn't end up in the streets? Like, you didn't become like, like hooligans or anything?
No.
Living through all these things? Man.
God
Wow.
did it all, for sure.
Wow.
He just protected us. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, but living with my grandma, there was a time where, made bad friends, you started doing things that were not normal,
Yeah.
at the time. But still, when you go back home, it was different. Because my family, on both sides, they had a really good reputation. So even when they see you do something wrong by other people, they were like, this is not for you. They'll be like, this is not for you. Oh, your aunties, your uncles, they grew up here, like they were not doing these kind of things, You can't hang out with these kind of friends. So it was always like that. Even people from outside will advise you. That's how I grew up too, like with advice from other people.
Wow.
Neighbors, people in the street that knew my grandma, that knew my mom's family. It was always like that. And also still going to school. Because, where my grandma was living, that neighborhood, everybody was just like, even, especially the kids were like street kids. So everybody was like going to school. Then for us, we were like constantly going to school.
Mm-hmm.
We had a little bit of, a level. We knew a little bit, intellectually. We were like ahead of all the kids in the neighborhood,
Since you lived in Kinshasa too, right? Yeah, because the Kinshasa is the capital city of Congo, and in Africa, usually life is in the capital city, right?
Of course,
compared to provinces. Not to say that there's no life in provinces, but capital cities' life is kind of like fast. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then also, that made it a little bit of, difference. After that, sometimes when people see that, especially kids from, our generation, they start mocking us. I remember like these kids like, oh, you guys, your mom left you. Oh, look at you. You don't have your mom.
They'll bully you.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I've been bullied by kids a few times.
Wow.
Yeah,
man.
I remember I'll go back inside the house and cry, but after all, I was like, it is what it is.
There used to be times that you would just go in the house and start crying.
Of course. I will sit there myself thinking a lot.
Man.
If my mom was here.
Yeah.
For like, most of the time, I grew up without both my parents, but they were all alive, My dad was there with my stepmom, and then my mom was wherever she was, and then us were living with our grandma for years.
And your dad never come home to look for you or anything. That was the time that he just forgot. Like, you boys, take care of yourself.
Have a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
How those kids eat.
So you spent 10 years old. Your dad didn't come even home.
Yes, you have a 10-year-old. You don't know how that kid eats, how he dress. Underwear, food.
Yeah.
School he was paying. You just send money to school straight right away.
Yeah.
But eating.
The rest of the attention and things.
Shoes, I had like.
He didn't care.
So from that age, I knew how to fight for myself. How to buy for myself these, all those little things. And then also that situation kind of helped me a little bit to become responsible from a very little age.
Yeah. When you talk about responsibility, I like that. I really wish that this is really this becomes really a good lesson to you, and also to all men like out there, right? Because if you decide to abandon children, you have to think about how are they going to survive, because don't bring the problem to the world, right? I wish this can be a lesson to you, because you're a man too. Tomorrow you will get married and you build a family, definitely. Once you build your own family, I wish you cannot repeat these things.
Never. I will never want my kids to go through what I went through. I will be there for them. I will do anything,
Yeah.
When I think of, everything I've been through, places, never, man, never. I don't even know what to say, but never. Myself, I don't even like seeing a kid crying in the streets.
Yeah.
It's it's affects me so bad. Like I became very emotional. Like I just have a certain love for children, for kids in general. So
because your childhood was taken away. It's natural. It's psychological.
Yeah.
When it's taken away from you, you kind of want it. Every time you see children, you feel like you need the childhood, right? That's wow. So then, how did we end up in Canada then?
Yes, I would say a miracle for sure. First, but this is how it happened. While living with my grandma. And then we found out through one of my aunts, to my mom's sister, that my mom was here
in Canada.
Then, how? When we asked, we heard that she was in Kenya first. So when we left her in Kinshasa, I think for that part, I heard, here and there.
Yeah, you just connected stories. You don't
her
have,
life.
Yeah,
we heard that
you're not certain.
She went through a lot too. Like on her side, she went through a lot.
I can imagine,
man. She ended up in politics, and then the president at the time, she was like in the opposition, and then they were like fighting them. They had to leave the
That was Kabila's time, right?
Yes,
so they all ran away.
Yeah, they all ran away through Goma.
Yeah.
She was in Rwanda, and then she ended up in Kenya. She stayed there also for like, I think 10 years, something like that. Yeah, like, as a refugee, she ended up in a refugee camp, and then,
she made it to Canada.
Yeah, that's how she immigrated to Canada. So then when she immigrated here, she was like, I have my kids back home. I haven't seen them for like 14 years. And then the family that sponsored her accepted also to sponsor us. So that's how we ended up here.
Wow.
So it was like myself.
Yeah.
I never knew or never even thought that I would be here one day,
Being with your mom, right?
Being with my mom, even like being with my mom. No.
Yeah.
I was living like, I had my own plans, I had my life. I was living the way I was living, but it just came up that boom, she is here. This is what is going on. You guys have to go to Canada. Okay.
Wow. Do you think, before we leave Congo completely, because you're about to go to Canada now, before you leave Congo completely, do you think if they put you in front of your dad, is there any apology you think he owes you guys? You think
if he is conscious about it, of course, yes, there is.
Okay.
But I don't mind him for that if he doesn't,
So you already forgive him for that, right?
Yes, long time ago.
Did you forgive him just because now you are living kind of a better life, or
even before that, when I was still in Congo, I forgave him like long time ago. I remember actually living with my grandma. She kept telling me every single day. I had that chance, my grandma was old. I was getting really good advice from her. In the evening, I would sit with her in front of the house. She would tell me stories, where she grew up, about my granddad, how she raised my parents, and then his siblings, And then she kept repeating. She used to call me MBAYA, like, my last name.
Your last name.
Forgive your dad, forgive your dad, forgive your dad, forgive your dad.
Oh, and she's your daddy's mother, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Forgive your dad, forgive your dad, forgive your dad. And I did that a long time ago. If I see him today, everything will be okay for me. Like, even my mom today, was a time, when I was going through all those hard time and things, I was like, if she were here, if she were here. But I reached a time when I was like, it is what it is. I can keep blaming her, I also so I forgave all of them.
Wow. That's really amazing. I like that you're able to forgive him. Yeah.
Like clear. I have nothing.
It's one thing that is good. If you cannot forgive, then you can't be forgiven, right? Even the Bible is saying that. So you have to forgive. And but this is for fun.
Yeah.
Do you miss him sometimes?
I would say yes. Yes.
You wish he can also be here and just live with you guys, or you just say, oh no, you stay in Congo there, stay there, don't come here.
I wish, you know,
Yeah.
It's a hard question.
Yeah.
It's a hard question because we were in the same city, but we were not living together. So
Yeah.
I had a different lifestyle, you know.
Yeah.
I got used to living without him.
Yeah.
My mom, I can't count her because she was already out. You know?
Yeah.
So it was already okay. But as a father, you know, as a person, yes, I miss him.
Oh man, that's amazing.
So like I got used to live like
good.
that without parents. I got used to.
Wow. What I like about your stories is that you guys had, regardless of how difficult things were for you guys, you were able to go to school. You know, getting education is the key. You know, you can't really conquer this life without education. Exactly. Either self-education. It doesn't mind what type of education you get, but be educated.
Yes.
And it's really, I'm so glad and I'm so happy for you guys that you at least had that conscience that you need to be educated, because Paul has a master's degree in journalism, right?
Yeah, journalism, exactly.
Wow. And what did you do with
agronomy?
Yes.
I actually graduated in high school and then I went to university for agronomy. And then I did 3 years.
Yeah. And then
it's like 5 years. You know, the system is different with
of course. Here.
It's 5 years. So there is, you know, graduate, 3 years, and then you go licence, 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
So I did those 3 years. On the third year, that's when we moved.
You moved here. And you're still studying here, right?
Yeah, and I'm still studying.
Which is good, man. So. Yeah. So I'm going to remind Jeremy, I'm going to remind the people that Jeremy is not just a brother. He's a musician. This guy is a really good singer. If you hear him singing, you'll be so shocked and you'll be surprised. And which is also another talent that this family has. Like all of them are singers and musicians. And these are the very good people. You have to meet them. You will see that life can shape people. You know, life, if the family cannot shape you, life can shape you. Exactly. And I believe these brothers have been shaped by life itself. Life has been a big teacher for them. How is your mom doing right now, Jeremy? Are you open to share that part? Like just a bit, maybe?
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah, she's doing good.
You are here with your mom now. You guys are happy at least, right?
Oh, yes. Of course. Very happy.
I know you don't like anybody to touch your mom.
Not at all.
I lived with you, and I know you don't like anybody to come close. You know,
man. You touch me, like you will see me right away.
Yeah.
Like yes.
Wow.
She's been through a lot with this woman. She's been through a lot. You know.
Yeah.
She went through a lot. She spent all those years thinking about us, praying for us, wanting to see us, my children. She got sick for that. Thinking about us, you know, in life, she was not aware. So that got her into so many problems, even health, you know.
Yeah.
So her whole life, all those years,
she
has been attached to that over and over. So when I think about that, like, man, you touch my mom, you touch me. Yeah. So she's doing okay. She's doing okay, and happy to be with her now, you know.
You're happy to be with her right now, yeah?
Of course, yeah.
Wow. And do you guys I remember with me and my mom, we're so close and we are very good friends. Sometimes we talk about my dad and, you know, my entire family, and we talk. Do you guys get sometimes like that to share the past and, you know, just talk for fun in the house? Because he helps to build you, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yes. Like when we moved here, because we moved the two of us first. We are like 4 siblings, right? We moved the two of us first, me and my younger brother. So at the beginning, it was just talk. Like, I remember maybe for a whole month or 2 months, we were just talking.
Yeah.
Like we will tell her stories, you know, what we went through, where we were living. She will tell us her story, and then also she told us what was going on between them, you know, me and her and my dad, you know. Because when we were living with my grandma, you know, they had their side of the story. That was like, you know, they tried to put her like, you know, wrong and everything, but there was also a truth on the other side. So like we kind of, you know, heard also the truth.
Yeah.
So the beginning was like talking, and personally I'm really close to my mom. So
I can tell, man.
Like myself, I'm really close to women.
Yeah.
I used to be really close to my grandma as well, so I would spend every evening with her. She would tell me stories. I learned a lot from her, and the same thing with my mom.
I think you find more safety. You're more safe and secure when you see like a responsible who's the female, right, close to you. That's really understandable and really good. I wish all the daddies out there can really learn from this. We give birth to children, but sometimes we don't know how to take care of them, and we are confused, and we don't know what to do just because we got married again and things like that. It just messes up everything. I wish every dad can learn from this. We're gonna give Jeremy maybe the last moment whereby he can share, like if there's anything he wants to share, personal, or maybe about his career, because he's a musician, as I said. And you, before we go there, but you attending a church here, right? You have a church that you attend here in Canada?
I attend Breath of Life Church.
Breath of Life here in Canada.
Yes, here in Canada.
Okay, like with Pastor Francois, right?
Pastor Francois, exactly.
Wow, that's good, yeah.
And then, I'm part of the worship team.
You're part of the worship team in there, and
in the church.
That's amazing too, man. That's another big family,
it's a big family.
I personally enjoy that
really
place.
Good people, especially Pastor Francois.
Yeah.
An amazing man of God. Really kind man,
Amen.
responsible.
Amen.
He cares for his people. Yeah. It's a really good family there.
Yeah. Maybe people should visit the place one day. It's in New Westminster, right?
New Westminster. If you have the time, you can. I forgot the exact address, but it's in New Westminster.
No, we'll put it under the description.
Yes, and then you guys come visit. You will love it, guys. I promise you. Yeah. You will love it there. Like the music, the sermons, worship, everything there is just amazing.
Yeah. That's amazing. Good. Okay, so friends, we are getting to the end of our conversation. Before we finish, I'm going to remind you one thing again. Subscribe. Share this message so that those who are really living this type of life can get to know that they are not alone. There's a lot of people who are going through, who went and who are still going through this. And it's not fair sometimes for children. 4 boys living in a place like in a mess that they did not create. It's not really fair. And we cannot really continue to encourage this. And some, like Jeremy and his brothers, ended up coming to Canada, and they're doing well. I know them very well personally, but not everybody has this opportunity to come here. Not everybody has the chance to come here. So I wish you can share this so that so many people can come. And I'm going to remind Brother Frank, who is the older brother of all these 3 brothers. If you really get a time, please come down here and let's talk about this. Let's put this story out there. This is not your story anymore. Don't say, oh, this is about me. This is not about you anymore. This is about the world. This is going to help so many people. And I wish you guys can put this in a book one day.
Oh, yeah, I think it's already in process. Already in process.
I will be the first one to buy a book.
Oh, yes, it's already in process.
I'll get my copy right away.
Yeah, it's in process. So you guys will get the book pretty soon.
Yeah, if you can put this story in a book, that will really be amazing. So I'm going to give Jeremy maybe a few minutes where he can wrap up whatever he wants to say. Maybe he wants to thank his mom. Loving your mom also means thanking her. If there's anyone he wants to thank about this and everything, or if there's any message he wants to say, I'm going to leave him so he can say that, and then we're going to finish up this.
Yeah, the message is, first of all, thank you guys for having me here at AFRODIASPO. Thank you so much. This is an honor for me. Actually, it's my first time, being like this in front of cameras,
Wow.
I'm trying.
Yeah, there's always a beginning, man.
Yeah, it's my first time, and then thank you so much for having me here. Yeah, and also, what I will say, especially is, I will... maybe this message will be especially for, dads, if you're a father somewhere. No matter what's going on in between, either you're together with your wife or not. And if you guys have children, take care of them.
Yeah.
Take care of them. Take care of your children. These children, you don't know what tomorrow holds for them.
That's the truth, yeah.
You don't know what tomorrow holds for them. Because this affects a lot of life, emotionally, mentally. Like it has a lot of negative effects.
That's the truth.
I've been through that. I know what I'm saying.
True to that.
Even myself, my own behavior. I don't know how to say it, but it has affected me it has affected me in a different way.
Wow.
That was the main message, I would say. I would say also subscribe to this channel. What's the name of the YouTube channel?
You mean AFRODIASPO?
AFRODIASPO, yeah.
AFRODIASPO Media, yeah. It's going to be down there.
Media, you guys subscribe to, and then, thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Thank you. We're so happy to have you. So thank you so much. There's nothing more. We are waiting for Frank. And I think Frank is going to talk about everything. He's going to wrap up, because remember one thing. When people talk about the story about the family, we shouldn't be confused. Everyone has the way they talk about the story. You cannot match them. We cannot expect what Jeremy said to match what Paul is going to say or what Frank is going to say, because they cannot go together. Everybody sees things in their own way, and everybody is standing from their own angle, and they're analyzing the story from that angle. So don't make this relate to everybody at the same time. Don't judge them as if you're judging one person. Everybody has their own way of seeing things, and we really thank them for even taking this time to come to speak to us. It's really not given to everybody. So many people have stories, but they cannot share them. Be our next guest. We invite you to come and tell us about your story. If you are a musician, if you are a businessman, if you are whatever you are, if you are a leader in everything, you are a church man, you are a whatever, come here and tell the world about who you are and what you want the world to learn through you. Thank you so much, and talk to you next time. Thank you. This is AFRODIASPO. Thank you.